all you beautiful people out there, what is going on? This is your friend Birdie coming at you fast with another Beast Builds video, and today we are going to be looking at Rampage, the Regenerative Rager. That was a big word right there. We're going to be looking at a Beast build for him, something that I have been using pretty effectively as of the update. As you guys know, he's had a big workaround, and you do have to build him really tanky, and that's exactly what we're going to do here today. Look at those goddamn pecs, man. He hits the gym, but he always forgets leg day. You know who never forgets leg day? Steel. Steel never forgets leg day. I mean, look at those goddamn meaty legs. Holy shit. Okay, let's stop. Let's just go to the decks before this gets worse. Click on that Rampage. Yes, I have a mouse now. This is fantastic. We're just going to keep doing it and keep using it in all our gameplays and shit because it's great. So, you're going to build him a tank, obviously. You want to give him that health. That good health from the Centurion Prime card. And we are going to build him as somebody requested that I do. For those of you who don't exactly need every step by step, you just want the overview of the guide of the deck. I'm going to give you the overview before we get into it. And then, you know, you can grab that information. You can grab the information in the description and leave. Or if you want to hear all of the stuff, you can stick through the entire video. It's up to you. But what's going to happen is we're going to start off usually with a Harvester key, Guardian's key, in my case here, or you can have a Beastmaster key. That one's also really good. Or I think it's called a Beastmaster key. I'm not exactly sure. The one that gives you 50% jungle bonus damage to minions. You know what I mean. And just any kind of key like that, because you want 2 charges on your Harvesters for your left and right jungle, and then for the left lane and the right lane. It just helps, plus it gives you health and physical damage, so why not, you know. You're not going to slot that or anything at all. Then you're going to go into your armor upgrades. You're going to go into your tempered plate upgrades with the 3 guards and shit like that. Then you're going to go into your tuned barrier with the 3 greater barriers. And this depends on, you know, obviously everybody knows you start off with the one that you think you're going to need earlier on in the game. In the end, it's not really going to matter. Then you move on to Amulet of the Veteran. You stack this out with max health, 3 max healths, and then you go into the Chieftain's Crown, which is actually a special active, but you are going to grab this Chieftain Crown. I'll explain this later. You're not going to slot anything into the Chieftain Crown, and then you're going to go Reptilian Claw, or vice versa, depending on what your situation is. Again, I'm going to explain that later on in the video. Reptilian Claw, you're going to stack this with 3 major heals for that regeneration, and then in the end, you're going to have a little bit of left over, so you can go in with a ward, or you can upgrade your Chieftain's Crown with some more health if you choose to. And again, the build is going to be in the description if you guys miss any of it. So let's get right into it. So like I said, you want to start off with double Harvester keys, or cards that give you 2 Harvester key charges. Plus, it also gives you 3 seconds of Harvester placement time instead of 6 seconds like the default key does. So it just expedites it that much more, which is really important in competitive situations. Every second counts. So that one's really good to have that for sure. Then the next item that you're going to get depends on how much damage they have. If they have a lot of physical damage, like 3-to-2 ratio, then you're going to start with Tempered Plate. If they have energy damage, vice versa, you're going to start with Tuned Barrier. Both of these items, depending whether you slot them second or third, you are going to max them out with 3 major guards and 3 major barriers, respectively. So you want to start off with armor, okay? You want to start off with armor. You'll get health after. Armor is really important to build right away because in the beginning, Rampage still has a really good amount of regeneration compared to the damage that's dealt to him, so you don't need too much health as long as you don't dive any towers or dive any team fights. You still got to be cautious. You're not a super crazy tank that's unkillable anymore, or as of right now at least, but you can still easily stay alive with Rampage, easily at this point in time. So then you move on to the Amulet of the Veteran. This is where you're going to slot it with 3 major healths, okay? 3 major healths or greater healths, however you call it. After you're done with this card, you're going to have another 1,000 health on top of whatever you had previously. You get a little bit of health from this as well. You get a little bit of health from the Temper Plate and from the Tune Barrier, and it all starts to stack up. Okay, then so you have the key, the Temper Plate, the Tune Barrier, and the Amulet of the Veteran. So now what you want to do is depending on your situation. Okay, this depends on how much you guys pushed up in this game. So if you guys are pushing lanes already, if you guys are already pushing towers, usually when you have this much CP, it's about 30 minutes into the game, maybe 35, 40, depending on how quick the game's going. If you guys are already pushing up towers, right, pushing up lanes, pushing up destroying inhibitors, I would go with Chieftain's Crown. This is a very, very special card if you have it. It's a 5-pointer, but it's very good. So what it does is it gives you health regen, it gives you 200 health, and it also grants plus 4.2 health regeneration to nearby allied minions. Now, a lot of people are like, well, that doesn't help my teammates, that doesn't help me, that just helps my minions. What the hell is the point? And the point is, this actually allows Rampage to push lanes on his own. For those of you who have played Rampage and have not built him with attack speed or attack damage or crit, or even if you have, you know that he is not that good at pushing lanes compared to a Gideon or an Iggy, who have AoEs as their like basic functional, Q, pretty much, or their square attack that's going to be recharging every 7 seconds. Or with Iggy's turrets, it's every 1 second. But Rampage does not have that pushing capability. So he has to give that pushing capability to his minions instead. When you give 4.2 health regen to your nearby allied minions, that's 4.2 health per second, by the way. It won't keep them invincible, alright? They still can die to the enemy minions. But with you working alongside your minions, while they are running up the lane, they are healing back their health, whereas normally they wouldn't. So imagine this. So you start off with a wave, you're pushing up a lane, right? You're killing the lane, whatever, you're pushing up with your lane. Let's see, you have 3 melee minions and 3 range minions, and sometimes you get a super wave, not a super wave, but you get a bigger wave that has 4 range minions, because one of them is that fat one. He's got diabetes, right? So 6 to 7 minions per wave. Imagine this, okay? So imagine you lose 2, right? You lose 2 in the fighting, okay? And some are, most of them are really weak. Or you only lose 1 and the 5th one's really weak, okay? He is going to get all of his health back before you get to the next wave, okay? Now you're fighting, you lose another one, okay. From the first wave, you only lost 4. And from the first wave, you only lost 2, meaning you have 4 left. But by this point, you already have a second wave that's pushed up with you, so you already have 10 minions with you. Okay, usually it takes about 3 to 4 waves to successfully push up on a tower, depending on how far you are from the tower and how far up your minions are. But let's just say, like, default, beginning of the game, both minions are in the middle, you just go and hit them, and it takes about 3 to 4 successful wave clears to get on the tower, at least as Rampage, okay? You can do it faster with other heroes, but with Rampage, that's usually how it takes. So, you go, and those 3 to 4 waves of minions that you're fighting, you also get 3 to 4 waves of minions on your side, but they're losing 6 every confrontation. You're losing 1 minion every confrontation because of your health regeneration to your minions. And that's going to stack up. You only lose 1 the first time, so you have 5 minions. Your second wave shows up. Now you have a total of 10 minions after losing 1. Then your third wave shows up. Now you have 16 minions. And for those of you who know how difficult it is to clear minions if you're not a Gideon or an Iggy or an ADC under tower, they can deal a lot of damage very quick, especially later on in the game, because their damage does scale. So it scales a little bit. Anyway, so this is a hidden gem that a lot of people don't realize to put in their deck. It works wonders. Now, disclosure, it only works well when you're alone, when there's no enemies on the other side counter laning you. But usually people pay no mind to a Rampage in another lane. In fact, they actually completely ignore it sometimes because they want to kill the team in the team fight. And of course, like I said in my guide, as a Rampage, you always want to be in team fights, throwing rocks, engaging, all that kind of stuff. But if, everybody's just laning, everybody's just chilling, and you don't see anybody in your lane, as Rampage, you can push up a lane. And even if it's just for 1 wave, it'll still help a lot because you'll give that regeneration to your minions. So that was a really long explanation, but that is why. It's really, really, really good. So that is if you are already pushing. If not, then you can go with Reptilian Claw. Okay, for this instance, we're just going to say that we get Reptilian Claw as our 5th item. This gives us health regeneration and a little bit of crit chance. We're not going to pay any mind to the crit chance. We're just going to go all the way with health regeneration, and we're going to go with 3 greater heals, which are going to give 4.2 health regen per upgrade card. So that's going to give us 12.6 from that. It's going to give us another 4.2 after we max it out. So it's going to be 16.8 health regen on top of whatever we have. This will give you about 25-ish health regen per second, which is not that bad considering how much health you have and how much time you're just going to be spending running around, especially with Rampage's abilities and all that. It's actually pretty decent and pretty useful when you have it like that. So definitely invest in that, especially later on in the game when you don't want to be backing all the time because you're low on health. Rampage is the best at that. And then finally, the last card is going to be up to you. You can grab wards if you want. If you guys need to, prevent any slips. You don't want any Fang Maos running behind you and soloing the core, like ninjaing the core or something, like in very specific situations. Or you can just upgrade Chieftain's Crown with regular healths. And then like a greater health or something like that. Just slot it somewhere, some way, somehow when it comes to health with Chieftain's Crown if you have any extra stuff. Because you're usually not going to slot this at all, but in the end, if you have extra points, you will slot it just to slot something, okay? So there we have it, guys. That is the build. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It was a bit longer because I did want to be thorough with my explanation on why this kind of deck works really well. I mean, obviously you have your armor, your barrier, your health, your regen, but the Chieftain's Crown is very a hidden gem for sure that a lot of people really need to try out if you haven't already. So there you guys have it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, make sure y'all have a wonderful day. Into the deck.